Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I was just making sure I got all my stuff open here. If you are new to me, my name is Paula. I started let me back this up a little bit here. I started, if you have not already seen this, I actually started doing a bit of a retelling. I don't think I've ever told it. A telling of my testimony, sharing my testimony. Um, I started a ministry in 2018, and I've kind of brought people along in this, telling about where we have been and where I think we're going. I don't really know for sure. All I can tell you is this: is that I'm going to share from 2018 up until where we are right now, and try to remember everything. Try to share all these parts of this. So I really appreciate people joining, and I appreciate you following and all that wonderful stuff. Now, hold on, let me clean the screen. I hope that's better. So let's just get right started. If you missed the other two, I'd invite you to go back and watch. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to see if I can. It's probably easier for me to share the screen. So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen, and we will. I don't think there's audio. Okay. All right. So you obviously don't want to see that. Let me get into and I'm not going to show you that. So hold on a second. Let me get into my pictures and we will talk. So basically we did the renovations in 2018, and you guys, I'm going to turn this around. 2018, we did start a lot of the renovations in the store, and fixing it all up and getting everything ready. So 2019, I don't remember the month we started, but we did start, and we opened up the store. Now, where is it? Pictures. Okay. Now I'm into the right place. All right. And I'm going to blow this up a little bit so I can see it. Oh, maybe too big. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I have never done this before in my life, like shared some of this stuff. So it's kind of different. Anyways, I'm going to turn this around so you guys can actually be a part of this. I'll see if I can do a dual. Try it. Live. Now we're going to do rectangle. We're going to do circle. And we're going to flip it. And here I am. Hello. I'm going to show you. Actually, we'll just leave it right there. If you wouldn't mind dropping hearts as you pass through, or dropping comments, or if you watch this later, if you guys are watching this later, if you could just drop me like where you're watching from, a couple of hearts or something, couple likes, tap the, do that kind of stuff if you could. So 2018, this is when it all started. 2019, basically we opened the thrift. Okay. So if you're late and you didn't see the first two of my testimony, then you probably want to go back and watch those so you're up to date. So I'm going to start talking about, basically, there was a lot of learning going on in 2019. I'm going to say there was a lot of learning that was happening. I didn't know anything about running a thrift store. I didn't know anything about I didn't know anything about anything. I had no idea. So let me tell you something interesting. When we had started this, we actually out the back, let me show you out the back. Let me see if I can, where is it? Oh, it's showing up in the wrong spot. Okay. Let me drag this way. So out the back of our store, okay, there I had cameras put around the whole entire store, okay? Because obviously for security reasons, we had cameras in the store. We had cameras on the outside of the store. Well, out the back here, I actually I had a huge green bin because I was new. I didn't know anything about anything. And I thought we were going to use this huge, I paid every month for this huge bin. And what I found was people started digging in the bin. And of course, you're throwing out garbage, you're throwing out sometimes not so safe stuff. And I used to get so upset because what people would tend to do is they would go in there and they would start digging around and looking for stuff that I had thrown out. So I was like, really? And I would get so upset because we would go back out there and have to clean up the mess. So I wasn't a fan. And then I realized, man, that I didn't need a big garbage can like that. So off went the garbage can. I'm telling you that because I'm going to tell you how the Lord changed my heart towards that. But I won't share that. I'll share that at another time. So there was a lot of transformation going on for me and this whole experience. And you think, like, I didn't know anything. I can tell you, honest to God, I did not know a single stinking thing. I did not know about running a store. I didn't know about running, like hiring people or having volunteers or stocking shelves or purchasing. I didn't know anything about anything. So the things that we put on the shelves were from the estate sale, from the girls that, they were like, here, come clean up the houses, take the stuff, and you can have everything as long as you box it up and you take it all. You can't dig through it and take whatever. So we were like, that was the agreement. And I'm telling you, at least once probably every 3 weeks, they would probably pick up the phone and call us or message me or whatever. I can't remember I think we text, and they would say, come. We're doing a sale on Saturday. Can you come Sunday? And we would go there and spend a few hours, box up stuff. And I mean, like, speed, and we would clean it out. And then we would be able to bring it back to the store and we'd have stock. I never, ever purchased anything in that 2019. Not at all. I never purchased anything. Whatever we had it because people came in and gave it, right? And I didn't know how to price. I didn't know anything. So I'm going to go back to that picture there with the backyard after. So let me show you some other. I found some more pictures. I was trying to do this today, but it's not the easiest thing to go through because I've got pictures everywhere. So let me show you. I was trying to find you a picture of our actual kids corner, and that was our kids corner, and he was my thrift baby. I actually got pregnant in 2000, and let me think about this now. He was born in 2019. She was 15. He was 19. 2019. So while we were doing and he was a December baby. So 2019 was interesting because 2000 slept a lot. I fell asleep on some of these. Like, we had 2 couches in this, and when I started to get further along, I was real tired, and sometimes the store would be dead. So I would just tell my son, I'm going to curl up here and I'm trying to bury my face, and people would come in and shop, and I would catch like an hour or 2 on the couch because I was exhausted. I was wiped out. I was not a young mom, older mom. And anyways, so I had him, and that was the kids' corner. And if you walked straight to the back, that was my office. And then straight to the right, that was where we had more stuff stored in the back. Let me see if that one opens. Oh, that's a video. Oh, I remember this. Oh, he was tired. I forgot it. singing with me. Ah, he was singing.
I can't sing.
Very good. Good job. Yay, Judah. Clap your hands. Yay, Judah.
So I didn't expect that. I thought it was another picture. Please don't rock the table. So anyways, there's another picture. I hope it's a picture. I'm clicking on stuff. So that was how the storefront, we try to keep the storefront looking like that all the time. So it was clean looking, and there was a lot of, like I say, transformation going on in there. 2000 and I forgot that I actually had him in 2019. So that was a lot of changes and a lot of, I didn't realize how much, but yeah, I started a brand new business. Was expecting a baby in December. I got shingles a week before he was born. I won't go into details, but there were some hard times personally, and we struggled a lot of times financially. Oh, hi, Hope. How are you? It's kind of hard to see. I'll have to try to hide I've got two screens going on here, and it's kind of hard to see, but I'll try to move the thing every now and then. So just so that you understand, at that point in time, 2019, I was pregnant, running a store that I had never ran before in my life, trying to multitask. There was issues within personally in my marriage, and I had written about it in my diary. And God told me in 2014 to keep a diary. Well, I'm not a diary keeper. I'm not the kind of person that wants to keep a diary. But because I love the Lord, I started keeping that diary, and I am so thankful that I did, because in 10 years, actually, this is now 11 years, my whole life, like in the last 11 years, I can truly say has been a walk with God. It is amazing, amazing to me, the things that the Lord brings you through in learning. So it was not easy. And then, well, during that time, I think it was in 2019, I'm pretty sure it was, we also struggled with getting people to realize that this was here. I didn't know anything about advertising. I didn't know anything about so I prayed all the time. We put up a prayer wall in there, and I didn't find a picture of the prayer wall, but the prayer wall was near the front. I wish I could have, I can show you a different picture of this here. Now, this was in the beginning, close to the beginning, because I can't remember what he was there for, but this gentleman was actually watching somebody preach on TV, and it was pretty cool, because I was like, wow, Lord, that's it. I didn't even have the signs up yet. I know, because I have signs up on that red thing that say Kids Corner later, but it is amazing to me, the transformation. Here's a better picture. And there was this couple. Okay, actually, yes, you can see in this picture, this couple, they started coming all the time, and they would sit there and they would read. He actually, I think I gave him a Bible, and he sat there, and his wife really she just did her own thing. She was sitting there on one of the couches, and he was just so interested in reading. And I don't even remember if they bought anything. I don't remember, but it was about that, being comfortable to come and just sit, being comfortable to like just come and hang out. And as you can see, there's those banners that I was talking about. And it was a precious time, a precious learning time for me. And it was exciting for my children to see the things that were happening in there. And that's my little girl, and that's the TV. And that is before we actually added some carpet to the bottom there, just area pieces. And somebody donated a kitchen. And we got some tables. So this was in the early start of it. Now, I didn't know, and I knew this. I only had the one vehicle, right? And I didn't, we started praying, and we saw this truck. Well, this truck, somebody donated to us from our church. They had this truck. And so what we did was, I was like, you know what? We'll just park it right by the street. And we parked that by the street, just like it is, like in the front of that truck on the other side of the bush, the busiest road, one of the busiest roads in the city. And we would just park it right there. You can't miss a big white thing. And I spray painted Thrift. Like, it was an amazing, we didn't actually get to use it to capacity. And I can't remember what the issue was, but we couldn't. And so it sat there. It just sat there and pointed people to the Thrift. And there was one point in time that I actually got my son. I was like, why don't you, I wish I had a picture of it. I said, why don't you I'm going to get a pink gorilla suit. We didn't have a lot of money, remember? And I said, go out to the street and just start waving them in, kind of thing. Pink. It was the craziest pink gorilla outfit. And people were coming in because of the pink gorilla. So we had to learn, and we had to trust that God would exactly like show us what to do and how to do it. Because I needed help. I needed help in every single, I had no education in that. I had nothing. And when I say nothing, what I did before was I was a bookkeeper. Like I was a bookkeeper. I did people's books. Okay. That was my life. And so starting this was like a walk of faith, a literal walk of faith. Like I had no idea. And because of the truck, and because my son put that big, and I wish I would have had that pink gorilla. I wish I would have took a picture. But because of that, we were able to get some more traffic into the store, which made a difference for us that in that year. It was hard. So let me see what else I can share with you about that year, 2000 and what are we in? 2019. We got the truck. I was pregnant. I had the baby in 2000, December. I had shingles the week before. Is that the year we did I don't think it was. No, it was the next year. Okay. So that's pretty much 2019. So 2020, you know what happened in 2020. We actually had, and I don't know if we're allowed to say this on one of these platforms here, but 2020 was the actual year of the, can I spell it? COVID. So when that came around, I think about where I was. I had just opened up this store, all 2019. And then this happened. And what did they do? They started shutting down stores, right? Shutting them down. How are you shutting down stores? Like I remember this. I remember praying, and I remember speaking to my son about it because everything was started to be shut down. Man, that was just the beginning of our second year. And I think it was March 2020. And they sent around this, or I can't remember where I saw it, something about if you had an essential business that you could stay open. So it was kind of, it came back on us. So I think we we were like, are we an essential store? We were deciding whether we were essential or not. Do we stay open or do we shut? And at the time, I was like, man, what are we going to do? Because we barely were paying the bills as it was, barely paying the bills. Like the thrift paid for the thrift. We were not living off of that money. The thrift paid for the thrift. And like I said, things were going on in my marriage that were kind of strange. Okay. And we'll just leave it at that. But so a lot of this, it was just me and my son. A lot of it was me and my son. He would help with the picking up of the clearing out of the houses for the estate. He would do that. So that was probably the largest part he played, was when the cleaning out of that and the daily running and everything. He was not involved in that. That was my son working the front and me working the back, and me taking care of the kids. And sometimes we would have a volunteer, and me trying to get everything out of the back into the front. So it was hard. In 2020, when that started, I was like, what are we going to do now? So thankfully at that time, the government was like, we will help out self-employed people, right? So this was something I did on my own with a little bit of my, like, it was like an inheritance. And, but I had ran out of that money. Like, I didn't have a whole bunch. So I managed to get the store up and running, but that was it. There was nothing left. So without the government actually helping, small or self-employed people, we would have been closed in like a year because of that whole situation. But thankfully they helped, right? And I was able to receive that help. So it kept us, we were able to be closed, but we never stayed away. I tried to clean out the back room, and I was working every day. So it was a constant. And if anybody was to call, we were there to help. And then that brings me to, I believe it was April. And in April, I was like, you know what? When we realized what was going on, I thought, you know what we could do? We could actually, I think this is it. Is this it? So my friend again came, and he did another article in 2020. Oh, it was August? Oh, no, that's when we reopened. No, that's the wrong one. Hold on. That's the wrong one. Where is it? I don't know if it's that one. Let me see. I know it's not that one. I think it's this one. Holidays. I don't know where the date is on that one. Yeah, I don't know what the date was of that one. I don't think that's it. But anyways, I will continue. I know that he did come again to talk about what we had done, because what I did actually was I started to take around. Yeah, that's it. Here it is. Sorry. And I even labeled it. So this is what we did. We actually put a table near the front of and then I'll finish this. We'll go back to this. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Friday. So yeah, I'll do this tomorrow night probably. We'll continue in 2020. But so I was praying, and I was like, man, we're going to be closed, and we could probably help people. That's really what I was thinking. We could probably help people in this time period. Now, can I zoom in on that so you can see it better? No, it's better if I make myself smaller. Okay. So what we did was I put a table up at the front, and I did a post. I think I did it on FB or something. And I was like, if you guys have anything that you want to give, we're actually going to do care packages for as many local nursing homes as possible. And that's what I did. I said, please leave games, cards, anything else for the nursing homes here. I never, you know how good God is? I didn't know that I was going to sit here today and do this 5 years later. Wow. 5 years later, and I'm sitting here and I'm telling you, and I have articles written up that I never once asked for. I never once went and said, could you do this? I never knew this man. And it was like he kept an eye on what I was doing. He kept an eye on what was going on. And I know that they probably do that stuff, but he was always like right around the corner. It seemed like he was there when I opened the door. And then when I started and I must have shared it first before, so he saw it. And then people started to bring in, stuff, and I would bring in stuff from the back, whatever I could find. I was like, we'll donate to, in addition to what anybody else gives, So in that time period, you can see here, it all started out with the hand sanitizer. So I did this, I did like a homemade hand sanitizer thing. I probably could have gotten in trouble for it, but I didn't know any better. And I thought it was helping. I thought, I did this. It was like, I can't remember, but I put it all together. I found the recipe and put it all together. And we actually used it when we were operating the store, because I was like, I don't want nothing going on. So we used it too. And so he says, she felt led by God to open her thrift store after a career in economics, bookkeeping. Since then, she seemingly had beaten the odds, and her little ship had settled into place in the thrift store community. Forbes says she's continued to seek the leading of the Lord and to find ways to serve, and seemingly has stumbled into another. It all started out with hand sanitizer, she said, referring to one of the hot products of the moment because of the sea situation, right? I made some, put it up for sale on social media. It sold out swiftly. True. One person walked in the store and bought most of the bottles, so I made more. Then blew up on FB and became a bit of a, controversy. But I decided, it's funny, she began to make more of her hand sanitizer with the goal of donating it to nursing homes. So that is what I did. I did something that I knew I could do. And then in addition to, we brought, somebody offered to make masks, which was another blessing, another huge blessing, because we didn't have masks. And as you know, at that time period, a lot of people were running around crazy looking for masks. And this girl, and I can't remember where she came from, who she was, and she was like, do you need some masks? I'll make a bunch of masks for you. And I was like, yeah, that would be amazing. So we were able to donate. Now that wasn't an actual picture of what we donated. I'm not sure. I know I have pictures, but I don't know where they are. I remember taking pictures, unless I put them in a different file folder. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I can show you. Actually, I have more. So anyways, he continues to talk about it in the article, and I'll show you. Let me close some of these windows. I'll show you. Okay. So I actually, here's all the sanitizers I made. Made these sanitizers, and you'll see the masks here, right? Lots of masks. So we started, and one of the cool things was that there was, what else did we have there? I can't remember. Those were all masks. Somebody made superhero masks. They were like the coolest thing ever, and very cool. So they had that, and then I was like, well, you can't give all this stuff and not give out tracks, right? A greater danger than that. And these were the coolest things ever. Like, I absolutely love these tracks, and I cannot remember for the life of me who does them, but I do have it somewhere. I have information somewhere. So we would give those tracks out, and I packaged it all together, um, put it all together. I called the sanitizer Flower Power, and there was some more, and I just had pictures of all of this. We had to lay them all out. I had nowhere to lay them all out. So I laid them out right there. And in section, I think we had 5 or 6 local, anybody I could find that I talked to on the phone. And I was like, would you like to receive a care package? And I told them what was in it. And they were all, every single one of them, yes, yes, yes. So there's some more. And then we weren't, obviously at that time, you weren't allowed to walk in. So we would put them down there. I took the kids and I went, and because my kids are with me all the time, right? And I took the kids in the truck, and we went around dropping them off. I should have took more pictures, but I don't know. I don't know if I took a picture of everyone, but yeah, we did that. All because the Lord provided. The Lord provided. And when I tell you that we were not, like, my family, it's so strange to me. Like, it really is strange when you don't have, like, we never went without. Okay. We struggled, and the store never made the store wasn't about the money anyways, but I never made a whole bunch of money at the store. So I couldn't even run out and buy this stuff. Some of it was donated. Some of it was gifted, like, by people. And then I made some stuff. So it was a combination of different people coming from different places, and they were giving. And it's amazing to me that even if, like, you would think, well, I have to have money to do this. I have to have money to do that. No. No, you got it wrong. If that's what you think, I want to correct you right now, because the reality is this. The reality is that you don't need money. You need Him. You need God. Because if God tells you to go and do something, God's going to make a way. I've seen Him. He is the way maker, like, for real. I don't care how much money you don't have. I don't care how much money you do have. If God tells you to do something, places it upon your heart, He is going to give you what you need in order to bring that about, in order to do that. And because of Him providing, I was just like a delivery person. I kind of, like, all I did was thank you. And I put together what we could give from the store. Thank you. Like, from our store, from that person who donated the masks, I think we had something else donated. Bring it all together. I was the one that just brought it all together and then actually went and delivered. So it took more than it takes somebody willing just to believe. Sometimes it just takes that one person to go, you know what? I believe. That's it. Do you believe? That's all. You don't even have to have the way. You don't have to have the money. You don't have to have the wherewithal. You don't even have to know. You don't even have to have the education. Let me tell you something. Do you know what kind of God you serve? Because the God I serve is a big God, and He knows all and sees all. Now, who better to direct you in life than give you a path than the one who sees all and knows all, right? Amen. That's who I want. So I'm not telling you it's easy. My goodness, what I've been through is not easy. It's not. It's sometimes you think, well, maybe I didn't hear right. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. You know what? If you believe God's told you to do something, just go and do it. Go and do it. The worst is you got it wrong. The best is you got it right. And people are blessed. People were blessed. People were blessed by getting, oh, and then we included a Bible too in every single package. There was Bibles, games, cards, masks, sanitizers, tracks, and word search kind of things too, because I know a lot of people like those, and puzzles, big thing, puzzles. So that's all I'm going to talk about for today. I hope that you enjoyed that. And that is day 3. So day 4, we're going to carry on to the end of 2020, coming through to the end of 2020. And I'll just carry on where I left off with the giving to the nursing homes. Yeah. So be sure to join me. Tomorrow night is Friday, right? So I'll be here at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time again. Have a blessed night. Thank you so much for joining me. Until then, good night.